What's going on, guys? Welcome back to your favorite channel on YouTube. Today we're going to be doing some work on the dually. So we're going to be getting rid of this nasty black spacer that goes between the grill and the bumper. The reason I'm doing this is because this truck's going to be staying the same height, and I'm going to be adding this 6.7 valence to it. So that valence ends up sitting really low, so I want to tuck that bumper up nice and tight against the grill, and I think it just cleans it up. Now, if I were gonna lift this truck, I would probably paint match this because I like to see a bulkier front end, but having the truck this low and putting the valence on, it's gonna be too low for me. So we're gonna show you how to get that done. First things first, we gotta pop the hood. We're gonna get the grill off, get the lights out of the way, and pull the bumper off. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and pop this shroud off of the top here. Okay, so let's pull that off. Next up, we have to remove the whole grill assembly here. So there's going to be one bolt here, and then just some pull tabs on the corner. So there's one over here, a couple in the middle, one on that side. Okay, now that we've got all 6 bolts out, we're just going to grab the bumper, pull it out nice and easy, and it'll come right off. You'll see there's 2 mounts on the bumper, one right here and one right here. That's what's connecting to the frame rails here. Now you'll see I've already done some notches because I started this the other day and then decided I wanted to do a video on it. So I'll show you how the notches are going to work, as you'll see. So this is your plate. You've got 3 bolts, 1 here, 2 here to remove this little plate. The mount runs straight across here, and then there's a little tab here. So you're gonna have to notch down almost to the bend here, and it just basically allows this to sit in here because it gets these pieces right here get in the way of that mount. So we're notching out to allow it to slide up here. So you're gonna wanna notch that piece down, and then there's a tab that normally hangs off right here. You just wanna chop that tab off so it's straight in line with how this runs right here. Now we're gonna have to remove the tow hooks. So you just got a bolt running through there. Go ahead and get those 2 off. There's actually one more bolt on the bottom side of the frame right here. So now that we've got these notched and we've got the tow hooks off, we do still need to cut these pockets right here where the tow hooks come through. So we're gonna have to cut in line. So basically right on the corner of this pocket here, we're gonna cut it all the way to the other corner, and we're gonna cut it back to where this other notch is all the way along, and that'll allow that pocket to sink in against this frame rail. Okay, so we've got to cut a little more out of this pocket here. We're going to cut all the way from this top where we ended down to this bottom corner, just on a nice little line like that. It's going to clean up the view from the front as well, so you don't kind of see a little notch like that. Just kind of make it look like it's supposed to be there. And then we're also going to remove this little plastic cover that covers the gap in the bumper right here. To remove this inner plastic guard, we've just got 2 clips on the inside, one right here, and then 4 on the outside on the bottom of the bumper. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're just gonna go pop all those out and pull that piece out of the way. Okay, this is what it should look like now. So we've got this plastic guard gone in this open space. Then we cut this corner up on a nice angle, and that's gonna look way better from the front as well. Okay, now I've got a stack of washers, 2 stacks of washers. It's roughly 1 3/4 inches. That's what we're gonna use to kind of space it up. We can add and remove washers if necessary to kind of adjust the height of the bumper. So we're gonna take one of these and stack it on this top mount right here. So these are gonna sit here. That'll space our bumper upwards. And we'll go ahead, test fit this, put the grill back on quickly, and then we can see if we need to adjust it a little more or not. You are going to need some longer bolts as well in order to space this upward with the washers. Okay, now to cut the spacer on the back side of the lip, you can see it comes around and it spaces out here. So all we're gonna do is grind off these 2 tabs on each side. And then when we come into the corner, we're gonna cut down into this groove right here. We're gonna follow that straight down. Okay, so I cut that piece and realized that we actually need to cut on the back side here, otherwise you can still see this front lip. So we're gonna cut all the way in the middle of these tabs, all the way across. We're gonna cut a little bit out of the corner of this, come up the back side around this little block, and then cut it off right here. Okay guys, there we go. So as you can see, this is nice and flush with that chrome front piece now cut all the way along. So we're good to go ahead and put this back on the truck, and then we'll be able to see if we're at the right height or if we need to adjust a little more. Before putting that on though, make sure you pull these out because it's a real pain in the ass to try not to scratch these up while you're doing it. Okay, so now that we've got the bumper spaced properly, in order to reattach these corner pockets, we need to remove one of these bolts. I'm going to remove the inner bolt on this arm in order for it to angle up to the new location, because right now with two bolts there, it won't go anywhere, but if we take one out, it'll pivot up, and then just make sure it's nice and tight so it doesn't wiggle around on you. And with this bottom pocket, I leave the retainer in the same place, because that allows us to reach it from the bottom with the stock bolt. You just come up from the bottom, and we're just going to screw in to the bottom of that retainer, just like that. Okay, now if your only plan was to lift the bumper up and get rid of that spacer there, then this is as far as you need to watch. Just make sure you put everything back together the way it was, and you'll be good to go. I'm going to go ahead, take the bumper back off because I want to get my new Valence installed. So we're going to go ahead, pull the bumper off, and then start drilling holes to mock this up as well. Okay, now if you're looking to put a Valence on your truck, this is a 2016 F450 Valence. Now a lot of people will put these on like this, and when it bends around, you'll have this gap that hangs over right here. What I want to do to get rid of that is I'm going to go ahead and cut this back lip off all the way to the end. Make sure you don't cut past where the Valence is going to come off. So I'm going to leave a mark, and if I have to cut a little more, I will. Don't mind the bumper. I'm going to be getting a new one in the future, but for now, we're just going to rock this one. So I'm going to cut the bottom lip all the way along so I can push that Valence back a little further and have it nice and flush all the way along here. Okay, so now that we've got that back lip cut off and a nice flat surface to work with, I'm going to push this front side just so it covers up these holes here. And I think that's going to allow me to get that nice curve that I want all the way to the end. So I'm going to go ahead and secure it in a couple spots on the front here so we can kind of start to bend it around and push those edges down. Okay, so I have my center three secured here. Now when I come to this corner, as you can see, it kind of hangs out a little bit. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to push that corner in like that when I make my mark, so my my hole sits a little further back, and that'll pull it back and kind of keep it flush along here instead of sticking out like that. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing for this corner. We want to tuck it in when we come around. So I've still got a little bit left to trim, so I'm going to go ahead and make my mark, cut it nice and even so this piece right here can push right back past this, and then we'll be able to get this hole right on the edge, just like I did over here. Now that we've got it on and everything's secured, we can go ahead and get that back on the truck and give her a test fit. Hopefully it doesn't hang too low. Nice, and we got a nice front gap, perfect clearance, nice and even too. Make sure you stack your washers evenly. If you get one off, you're gonna have a little bit of a tilt. But man, that looks way better, and the Valence clears a fair amount now, so it'll look good, but it'll still not be smoked on snowbanks and stuff like that. All that's left to do now is reassemble the front end, and that'll be it. All right, guys, there it is. Still need to do a little bit of adjusting on it, but it'll do for now. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see more fun videos like this in the future, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.